What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Peace Dealer. Shout out to Pharaonic Corp. All right, he laced me up with these two shirts. This and the Gemini one that you be seeing. But yeah, other than that, I wanted to make a quick word about timing charts. And one thing to keep in mind is astrology is definitely a great language. It's a great science. It's the one true science. And as a tool, and let's not say astrology is a tool, but as certain techniques that we apply to astrology, that we use as tools, these enable us to help us navigate our world more. But we don't want to also get too crazed to where we start to get stressed out by certain aspects that we cannot control. One thing to remember and keep in mind is that you're not meant to control everything. In fact, knowledge of the trends of the stars are really meant for you to let go, be in awe of how you're just a part of a symphony of so many other energies turning the cog in the wheel, but not getting so obsessed with it that you feel like you can control more than you can. Only thing really you can control is your own free will decisions, which influences the rest of the effect of what happens to everything and everyone else. But what I really mean to speak on is the phenomena of casting charts and really determining when the best time to do something is. It's a very actually great method for determining, uh, a great period to launch something, to go on a date. On one level, it's very amazing because with great proficiency and practice, you can very accurately understand the astral weather, what's going to happen, and how starting something on a certain time will start. Up until the point where you start to get obsessed about it and you start to worry about, okay, should I do it at this minute? Should I do it at this second? Because once you get obsessed about it, you presuppose, you now operate with the false presupposition that you have any control with what's going to happen in the future. That's not how casting astrology date charts work. There's certain archetypal energies that I will see, and if they do have an obsession to control, that's a part of their archetype. Like cardinal signs that are very forceful, Capricorn risings, Virgo energy. That energy I will excuse if they're very finicky about it, because these are people who must be in control. Even though, if you're watching this too, anyone that fits that archetype, you also want to at least, on the flip side, remember that because you have so much control, that alone makes you not need to worry about the details like that, because time flows around you. A lot of you are actually, or some of you, but I would like to think a lot of you are actually time lords in some degree. And when you master this element, the person who has mastered casting charts, like for example, I've been doing astrology for like 8, 9 years. Okay. So like, I bet a lot of you think that I don't do a single thing without thinking, okay, what's the sign gonna be in? I don't do that shit. People come to me to do that shit, and I will help them because I'm good at it and it's gonna be accurate. But I also realize that, let's think about it. When you're thinking about where the planets will be and where you will be in your geographic location, you're only accounting for the 9 planets in the solar system. There's millions of asteroids, and then there are outer planets outside the solar system whose orbits that you don't see still affect what's happening. So you don't know. All you know is what's observable. That's why when you do these things, you're aware of the observable phenomena and how it plays out, but then there's always that thing outside of what you observe that changes up what you thought, because you're not accounting for everything. I just do things. I haven't Taurus rising, so I'm more natural, but I just do things. And then I study the chart of when I did it, because that's natural. It's not manufactured. There's more authenticity because of that. It may not necessarily be what I perceive as the perfect transit, but that's an illusion to think that this is the perfect transit that I can launch everything. It's not. Everything that you account for being perfect is just based on your third dimensional observable reality, taking into account of like million, because everything that you observe is just this small, and then the rest of the universe is this big, and that factors into what you're predicting. So keep that in mind. This is not to deter people from casting relocation charts, or from, putting up prediction charts for when's the right thing to do. You're still encouraged to do that because it's still accurate to a degree, but don't be so obsessed with it to where you think you're playing God, because that's the best way for God to be like, oh, this motherfucker thinks he knows or she knows, and then just throw off your plans. Okay, I've seen people plan their marriages off of certain astrological dates only for them to get divorced because of when they did it. And so you really want these things. I'm biased once again because I have a lot of heavy Taurus energy, and so I'm ruled naturally. You really want these things to just naturally occur and be comfortable with the hand you're dealt. Another thing is, so many people feel like they have to rig the game so they have a perfect hand. You can have the best hand in the game and still lose the round. It's not about how good your hand is, it's about how you play with the hand you're dealt. So you can have the shittiest hand and still win because you know how to play it. So keep that in mind. I feel like I had to share this message out. If you're casting, charts to help you know when the right thing to do something is, you should do it. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? In many cases, it's accurate. Just don't be so obsessed with it that you care so much how it's gonna play out. Do it, let it go, do what you're called to. If you feel you shouldn't do it, don't do it. But I really wanted to put that message out there because this can add a lot of stress to certain people when you lie to yourself and make yourself think you have any semblance. Control is an illusion, my friend. When you make yourself think you have any semblance of control over the outcome of events that you are just one part of. Okay. Other than that, y'all stay blessed as always, and until next time.